forgive me. Lord, how do I look in frame?
Things I don't understand.
Put your time on it. We got 2 episodes to do, baby. Let's get it. You recorded?
Are you?
I don't know. I'm not the camera, bro. It's not my job to record. I thought I was supposed to talk. You confusing me, bro.
Hey, are you confused or are you just tipsy, bro?
Bro, I don't know what I am, but it's episode 2.
It's episode 2.
So it's time to get it together.
Is that the same bottle of tequila we had the last episode or what? Did we? I don't even know.
I think we went through 1, bro. Yeah, it's bad. But, bro, I gotta play this, bro.
Never go back in time. I'm from the era of McFly, so low dark light. We way past your time. We pass all that shit, that metaphor spin around your head, son. Y'all like some time. I can do so much shit, I don't have to rhyme. This that shit you sniff after cry. Alright. Of course I have to kite. Snatch your shit to pass the time. Sacrifice your days for cash, turn to my cash the time. You asset the situation, you'll last some time. I assess those same things, your world too mainstream. Fuck you mean what I'm saying? But y'all ain't see the vision. Like I said, listen, this is for the dreamers. And this is for the people. Then we see the forecast, but tell them that don't mean nothing. Tell them don't forget us. This is for the people.
Yo, you ready to pop, bro?
Yeah, man. Who is that?
It's Vonda God, the one and only, bro. You don't know his name now, you're gonna know it soon. You ready to pop, bro?
Are we ready to pod? Is that what you calling it?
Yeah, it's podcast.
Oh, pod. I was yeah, of course.
Come on, Gabe.
I'm ready to
man. You got
pod.
too much tequila in you, man.
I think so.
Are you ready to pod, bro?
I've been ready. What do you mean? That's why I'm for. Oh,
you ready to pod?
Nah. So, welcome back. Come on. This is where you're supposed to
Welcome back. Welcome back. I feel like I never left, but you know, my outfit changed, so I'm back.
I guess so.
What's up, baby? What's up? Episode 2?
Episode 2.
Already?
I guess so.
Are we finished editing episode 1?
I'm not gonna say anything. But
what's up, man?
All right. So last episode we talked about what is the professional winner, right?
What is professional winner?
Okay.
I don't know what we're gonna talk about today, but hey, it's episode 2. Welcome back. Welcome back to the new listeners. Welcome back to the old listeners, last listeners, no matter what you are, we love you. This is the Professional Winner podcast/show. I am your host, Jonathan Conyers, aka the Professional Winner, Mr. TPW. I am with some great friends and my main man, Gabe. What's up, Gabe?
I am, I'm like a gentle, butterfly
I know
floating.
you're so gentle, man. I'm excited. I'm speaking fast. I'm hyper.
Yeah,
I'm loving this process.
I'm always chilling, bro. I'm always chill.
Let's get it.
I'm a vibe. You're a vibe. We're gonna catch this vibe.
You're a vibe.
The question is, who is Jon E. Conyers?
Bro, don't do that. Delete before. Throw that away.
Who is Jonathan Conyers?
There we go.
Alright.
There we go. And if y'all see me on the street, do not call me Earl. Don't do it. Leave me alone. Only when we talking about Earl the animator. We're gonna talk about that another time. But hey,
Ooh, what's that?
we're not talking about that, man.
Okay, my bad.
We're not talking about Earl. We're talking about Jon Conyers. That's what you said.
Jon Conyers.
That's what we doing
Jon Conyers, the entrepreneur, the businessman, the dad, the
entrepreneur.
I'm sorry. No. The professional winner.
There we go. The professional.
The professional winner.
Professional winner.
The TPW. Certified.
But I gotta do a disclaimer. Before we talk about Jon Conyers or who I am and why I think it makes sense for you guys to tune into this podcast, I have to talk about something called empathy fatigue. Now, the reason why I have to talk about empathy fatigue is because if you are a friend of mine, if you are a family, if you are somebody who went to college with me, specifically Stony Brook University, hearing my story is not something new to you guys. And sometimes when you're constantly hearing about people's trauma and a lot of things that they've been through, it's something that's called empathy fatigue. For instance, Gabe.
Okay.
I tell you my life, which you know already. And when you first met me, freshman year of college, and you see me with a kid, you see me with all these, counselors and president of the university was so drawn to me because of my story. You know, when you first heard my story, you probably say, wow, that's crazy. He's here. He's doing amazing with that story, with that upbringing and everything he's been through in life.
10 years later.
10 years later. When you hear that story constantly, it doesn't make you get more sad or feel more bad for me. What happens is empathy fatigue, where it's like, dang, like, I feel bad for John, but like, I don't want to hear this shit no more. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, if I tell you the same story 10 times, it don't make the story better. You just divide that story by how many times I told you.
Exactly.
So the reason why I'm saying that is because you guys have to understand, from my family, my friends, that this podcast is, I'm gaining a new audience. And even though some of you who are tuning in may know me and know my trauma and know the things I've been through and the things I had to overcome, the new listeners don't. So I'm going to kind of break down things of my journey that you could probably Google about me, that you could see in a blog, that you could find on Stony Brook University website. But I think it's necessary to talk about it. Also, too, disclaimer, not looking for empathy. Empathy has not got me nowhere. What got me here is hard work, staying dedicated, and regardless of what I've been through, not making excuses for my circumstances, keeping my head down and working my behind off. That's what got me here. That's what got me in this chair. And that's why I hope that you guys will continue to tune into this podcast and love this podcast. Okay? What's up, Gabe?
I was actually just clapping.
You want to clap? Bro, that's what you got to say, baby.
Oh, man.
So, again, you know, I think it's very important to talk about that. And also today, Jon Conyers is not just the sad story, the sad dude from the Bronx. There's a new Jon Conyers.
Wait. The Bronx?
Yes, I'm from the Bronx. Well,
I was about to say.
I'm not. I was born in Chesapeake, Virginia, but I was born there by accident. But let's talk about that, because the reason why I was born in Virginia is actually it's actually a sad story. And recently I've been working on this amazing project, which I don't want to announce yet because it's still premature. But, you know, throughout this process, I learned a lot more about my life. I learned a lot more about my upbringing and things I had no idea. I never knew why I really was born in Chesapeake, Virginia until 4 months ago. And my parents kind of told me the reason why I was born there was a lie. Let's get to it, man. Let's start about it.
Whoa.
Do we want to start with that?
I mean, why not?
Are we starting with that,
bro, I don't even know. I didn't know.
We're starting with that?
I mean,
Let's start with it, bro.
So VA, tell me about it.
VA, my home. I love it. I probably spent half my life in Virginia, half my life in New York. Most of my businesses are in Virginia. It's my hometown. It's a place that's near and dear to me.
What's the hometown?
Chesapeake, Virginia.
Chesapeake, Virginia.
If you don't know what Chesapeake, Virginia is, it's very close to Virginia Beach. Everybody knows where Virginia Beach is. Very close to Norfolk, Portsmouth. It's specifically within the Hampton Roads area, which is also known as the 757.
Would you consider yourself to be more of a New Yorker or a Virginia boy?
Definitely a New Yorker. I did my high school here. I married a New York woman. My wife is from High Bridge in the Bronx.
Oh, snap.
I did high school in New York. I did middle school in New York. First girlfriends, everything was Bronx, New York. So, you know, when I was born in Virginia, I came back at 4 months. So, you know, it's like my whole family was born in Lincoln Hospital in the Bronx. Every single one of my siblings and both my parents. However, all my siblings was raised in Virginia. I was the only one raised in New York. So it's kind of interesting that even though on their birth certificate, it says they're from the Bronx, New York, I'm the real New Yorker and they're all more Southern. So it's kind of interesting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man.
Damn.
Let's get to it.
I mean, we've been getting
to it.
What do you mean?
So, Gabe, come on, ask me the questions.
I was waiting for you, man. Every time I talk to you, it's like I'm learning something new. I'm like the Virginia thing 4 months ago. What? That's wild, bro.
Yeah, man.
I mean, but now we're talking about it. You say you have businesses in Virginia, bro. Like, what are those businesses?
Okay, so I own a company called Agbora Health Services.
What?
Agbora Health Services. Yep.
Okay.
Agbora is a Nigerian term that stands for like unity, strength, and all these other things. I don't know if I'm Nigerian at all. I'm not claiming to be, but I gotta be something. I just can't be American.
I mean, that's why you have all that money, right?
I just can't be American. Somebody brought me on the ship. Back
to Virginia, back to your health.
So I was born in Virginia.
Okay.
My businesses, I have a group home in Virginia. I own a Juvenile Center in Virginia. 10,000 square feet for 15 young young men.
A juvenile center.
Yes, a whole juvenile center.
Why?
I
Why a juvenile center?
When you grow up the way I grew up, and you constantly have people doubt you, people kind of trying to put you in this box, you make poor choices based on circumstances, the way you grew up. You know, you start to realize there's a need for certain things. You start to realize that if I don't do certain things, then nobody will do it. In my juvenile center, there's no bars. Nobody's gonna be locked up. You know, it's real rehabilitation. Talking to the youth, trying to tap into these kids' minds, give them a second chance. You know, I always felt like throughout my life, you know, a lot of people say, "Oh, he's self-made. He has this huge success story." That is completely false. There were so many amazing people throughout my journey that helped me, that gave me advice, that mentored me, and put me in certain positions of power and gave me more than just second chance, third chances, fourth chances, fifth chances. And no matter how many times I tried to ruin things or jeopardize my own life, I had so many wonderful people in my corner that told me, "Jonathan Conyers, you can be better." So I think it's only right now, being in this position where I do have resources to help people, that I tap into certain businesses where I can uplift the community and help people. And all people. And, you know, I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. Yes, you know, I do care a lot about the Black community. I do care about people who look like me, who grew up in similar environments to me. But, you know, just as a human being, you know, it's just about all people. You know, my juvenile center, my group homes, we help kids, all kids, no matter the race, no matter the gender, no matter what you are. You know, we're just welcoming, and, you know, that's the goal. The goal is to help as many people as we can. And, you know, I've always came up with this theory. You know, I talk about it with my brother, Justin, who's, you know, my business partner. He probably does more for me than anybody. And I talk about this idea of why, you know, I think we have this mindset that if you do the right thing, you don't need to be compensated for it. So I always talk to my brother, like, how can we do the right thing and still take care of our family? How can we put resources and things into our community and still benefit so that our kids can have a extra step in this world and be able to financially support them and live the life that we unfortunately didn't get to live as youth, in our youth. So one of the things we thought about is group home, going into the health field, which, you know, as we talk more throughout this podcast, you'll realize that I'm a clinician by trade. That's one of my main clinician, not a doctor. Clinician, I think, you know.
What do you do?
I work for NYU Langone Medical Center.
Okay.
I'm a registered respiratory therapist, specializing in neonates.
So that's your primary?
That's my primary.
Okay.
That's where, you know, I have to clock in and clock out.
Saving lives.
Yeah, man. Just went through the COVID pandemic. It was tough.
I don't know how you do that, man. That's a lot of stress for me, man. I don't want to see blood. I don't want to see any of that.
I say it's a lot of stress, but somebody have to do it. You know, and, you know, it also goes back into my family. You know, I grew up with a mother with multiple sclerosis, COPD. I'm a mama's boy by heart, trust me. So, you know, just watching your mom suffer and grow up with addiction, you know, things that's not in her control, looking at her x-rays. You know, I always said I wanted to be in medicine. I never wanted a kid to feel like I feel.
Gotcha.
You know, so.
How many siblings do you have?
It's 5 of us.
5.
And I'm the youngest, the cutest, and the most special one.
You heard that? I'm just pausing right there in that moment. So, you know, siblings could look back.
Yeah, I have 3 older brothers and an older sister.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Who's the oldest? Sister or the brother?
My 3 older brothers are older. So I have James, Joshua, Justin.
Gotcha.
Then my sister Helena, and then it's me, Jonathan.
Damn.
Helena's name was supposed to be Janelle. We were supposed to have been all J's, but my grandma really wanted a granddaughter named Helena, so my parents caved in further.
That's crazy.
Helena.
Wow, that's awesome, man. All right, so when it comes to your mom, I mean, where is she now? Is she in Virginia?
Well, my mom is currently in the hospital. Okay. Let's get straight to it. Unfortunately, my mom was just in a very, very bad car accident. So she's healing okay. It's been a journey. It was a very, very tough moment for our family, but she's okay. She's alive, and sometimes you have to count your blessings. But my mom currently lives on 42nd Street. I pay the bills, unfortunately. She's living an okay life, better than me. She lives in New York primarily. She travels a lot to Virginia because, you know, most of my siblings do still live in the state of Virginia. But yeah, that's what my mom and my dad are still married to this day. I think we celebrate 25 years.
25 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting, man. Your mom, she's not in Virginia, but she's still in New York. She's still on the streets, just chilling.
Man.
I'm surprised. I feel like, sometimes people go back and they want to escape the city and, live a little bit more of a quieter life.
When we were in college, my mom primarily lived in Virginia. She just couldn't do it.
Gotcha.
She's a New Yorker, man. She tried it. Yeah. My parents feel like Virginia is bad luck for them.
I see.
It's just one of those things. You know how you just stay at a place and things just never go your way. And,
I guess they got you out here, so
yeah,
that's great, man.
Yeah,
so. And you got your mom, so she can take care of your kids sometimes, right?
Yeah, that's not working. Pick up these kids, John.
Oh man. Dang. You did mention your mom. Is she okay, by the way?
Yeah, she's good, man. God is good, man. She's gonna be okay. She's healing.
Okay.
A lot of broken bones, but she's
When
healing.
did this happen?
This happened last week, Friday.
Dang.
And it's crazy because you talk about who Jonathan Conyers is. Jonathan Conyers is this business guy who are very dedicated to anything I put my mind to. And sometimes when I do that thing, people have to be pushed to the side. And that's one of the flaws, and we talked about this, right? We talked about this in episode 1. When we do the professional winner, we're going to talk about our flaws, the truth, vulnerability, and things that I need to work on, things that us as a whole society, when guests come on, I'm going to challenge them. You're not, because you're worth $1 million, because you have this huge platform, you're not perfect. And the fans need to realize a lot of times you guys watch these podcasts and you watch these people with these huge platforms and you make this assumption like, wow, they got their shit all together. And I'm here to tell you it is false. We are human, we make mistakes, and we have things that you may not see as a flaw, but that we hate about ourselves, And I remember with my mom, she called me 4 times on Thursday. I'm trying to remember, I think it was October 28th. I literally just got back from Jamaica. My birthday's the 23rd. I start Scorpio season off. You get what I'm saying?
This guy.
Don't hate. Let's get a name class for Scorpios, man. Come on.
This guy. Come on.
October's on, man. No disrespect to Drake. October's on, baby. I just got back from Jamaica. I was like, had hundreds of emails. I was like, just in. Why does this lady keep calling me? I'm busy. I got money to make. You know what I'm saying? I got to pay her rent. Stop bothering me. And then 5:30 that morning, I get a FaceTime. And I'm like, okay, cool. Why is my mom not calling me? Why would she ever call me this early? Mm-hmm. So I answer the FaceTime, and it's my father. He's like, broken wrist, gasping for air, and I can see a car smushed. And my mother is screaming my name, John, please help. And I'm just like my heart just dropped. And I just say, God, please, like not like this. Like, I don't want to. And I just watched my mom for an hour and 30 minutes, like scream my name, stuck in the car. I watched the fire department cut her out. 5 broken ribs, broken toes, 2 torn ACLs, broken clavicle, broken collarbone. And all I can think was that I put emails and a dollar amount over just having a normal conversation with her the day before. And, I screenshotted that and I look at it every day and I was like, I would never ever miss her call again. Because at some point, when you get to a certain level and you start to work and you start to work your ass off and you're pounding, you just start to forget about things. And you start to value your businesses and you start to put a value on other people's lives and other people's relationships. And it's a dangerous thing to do. And we're told when you get to a certain level that this is the cost of business. But why? Like, why does it have to be,
I don't know.
So, and that was part of who Jonathan Conyers was, and I'm trying to change that about Jon Conyers. Valuing conversation more, valuing meditation, valuing my mental health. So it was tough, man.
It was, I wouldn't know how to even go through that and still deal with 5 businesses and not even, sleep at some point. I would be really stressed, man. It's wild.
He was texting me, right? He was like, "God, bro, no recording, bro. You haven't slept in like 2 days."
Yo, you still came that day. I was actually
leave me alone. Tell me what to do, bro. You have a job to do. Let's get it.
And I was like, all right, I guess we did it. Episode 1 later. But it was crazy. It was pretty wild, man.
Yeah, man. We was up to 5 in the morning. we were supposed to start recording like 1 p.m. and I called Gabe like,
My face fell asleep in the computer that day, bro.
I'm like, Gabe, my mom is in the hospital. He's like, all right, see you tomorrow. I said, no, I'll see you tonight. I'm going to take care of her. I'm going to be here as long as you need. But whenever I walk out this hospital, that's when our job starts. Man.
Yeah.
We went from like 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. Yeah, man.
I mean, I don't mind. I guess.
Yeah, man. And that's part of who Jon Conyers is, man. Dedication.
You were talking about challenging other guests on the show, but how would you challenge yourself personally? How do you challenge yourself? What are those challenges? What do you see that you want to do? How the people say like January is coming, the New Year's coming. What are the challenges for yourself?
Looking in the mirror, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think self-reflection is important. And a lot of times lately, me personally, I've been self-reflecting on my life, my goals, my dreams. And, like you always ask me this question, you say, when is enough, Jonathan? And I don't have the answer to that, unfortunately. So, I just have to think of, in that moment, I'm not thinking 20 years from now. I'm thinking in that moment, what do I see myself? Do I want to lose a certain amount of weight? Do I want to continue on this health journey? Do I want to, make sure I'm communicating better with my wife? Making sure I'm meeting the demands of my kids and not only just supplying them with, material things, but also giving them the time that they need.
Yeah.
So
you were just saying your health and your weight and everything. How does that make you feel? Like you see all these rich people with like, they look amazing. They say they wake up in the morning, 5 a.m, they'll go on a run, they'll work out. Like, obviously looking at you, you're a little bit like heavier. What do people say anything about that? Like, how do you feel about that?
It's crazy because I would say I've been overweight probably my whole life, right? And, at 17, I probably was 380, like, no, I'm exaggerating.
I mean, I feel
I
like
probably was like 305.
When I saw you in college, you were definitely much bigger than what you were now.
I probably was like 320, 305. But at 17, like, I was like, I felt bad when people talk to me like, yo, you got to work on your health. You're a smart kid. You're very successful. You have a 4.0, And then on top of that, working in medicine, do you know how embarrassing it is to walk into a patient's room and say, yo, you have heart failure. You need to eat better. And you fucking 400 pounds out of breath trying to tell them that? Like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Like, if you are going to preach this life, you need to live it. If I'm going to come on this camera and say, you need to be better. You need to have a successful business. You need to push yourself. And I'm not going to live that. Why listen to anything I have to say?
Mm-hmm.
So, early on when I'm 17, 18, I felt bad. Like, you don't know what it's like to grow up with crackhead parents. You don't know what it's like for your parents to go on a binge and the only thing you have is McDonald's. I might eat a bag of Doritos for night. Nobody taught me. I'm in Webster Projects. You know what it's like to grow up in High Bridge, Webster Projects? They talking about health. I'm trying not to die today. I'm trying to walk to school and not get stabbed or robbed. I'm in 6th grade going through metal detectors. You know what I'm saying? You think I got time to focus on health? Nobody's educating me. Nobody's teaching me.
Yeah.
However, when I stepped on campus as a freshman, this is my life. I'm 18. I have a kid. I can't even chase her in the park without feeling like I'm going to drop dead. You know what I'm saying? When are you going to take control of your life and stop letting my parents and choices that other people made that I couldn't control from 1 to 17? I just had to deal with the cards that was given to me. So I'm like, yo, I had to look in the mirror. I had to say, yo, you have to change. Whatever happened, it happened. But then you get here, right? And nobody talks about the fact that you was 420 pounds and now you lost 150 pounds. They're still saying, well, the way I see you now, you're still overweight, right? Yeah. Nobody knows the journey, right? And unfortunately, people are not blessed enough to sit in front of the camera and say, yo, I lost 120 pounds. This is my journey. And I'm still a part of that journey, Like I talk about you all the time. Like every 30 minutes, we stop filming, we do push-ups, right? Yeah. That's just part of our routine. And you be like, yo, look at me. Gabe is probably 120. How much you weigh?
I'm only like 140 pounds.
You're not 140. Gabe is 110 pounds soaking wet. And Gabe looking at himself like, I gotta go rock climbing. Look at me. I'm like, bro, you got a 6-pack. Shut up. But it's perspective, right? I can't tell you how to feel about yourself, right? And you can't tell me how to feel about myself. So I'll be damned if anybody's gonna take away my progress and how much I've accomplished to lose that amount of weight. but there's still work to do. And I'm not looking for your validation, I'm not looking for nobody's validation. It's about me. And no matter how successful I am, how much money I make, it don't matter if I don't have my health. You know,
Gotcha.
so the new Jon Conyers is gonna be healthy. It's gonna care about his health. You know, and that's just part of it, man.
The new Jon Conyers. Okay. I like that. The new Jonathan Conyers. That's pretty wild, man. The old Jonathan Conyers, I knew he was doing a lot of shit too, bro. What was that? Tell me a little bit more about the old, because the new it's happening. Obviously, it's happening.
Yeah, it's happening in real time. But the old, like, specifically, come on, man. What you mean? Like, you want to know specifically more about?
I want to know specifics. You got business. You only told us about your juvie home. You told us about a little bit of Virginia, but I know there's something else in Virginia that you didn't even go in detail in.
Group homes.
Okay.
Group home. So I was in group homes in Portsmouth, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
How that started was very interesting. First, I want to give my flowers to my brother, you know, who's a special education teacher, football coach, psychologist. And it was pretty much more of his vision.
Okay, what's his name, bro?
Justin Conyers.
Ah.
Shout out to my brother.
Got you.
You know, he had this vision, you know, due to certain things I was able to accomplish in my career early on.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to create a certain amount of, you know, finances to support a lot of people in my family, dreams and goals and things that they had. And, you know, we had, you know, certain family issues. You know, one of my cousins at this point was, you know, he was put into the system, and me and my brother talked a lot about how can we get him out the system. You know, I own some properties in Virginia due to my real estate company, Conyers Real Estate, which we didn't get into, but we can also talk about that. So
First, you said group homes. I don't even know what a group home is. Tell me, what is a group home?
So basically, you know, there are kids who are put into the system, right? So, you know, kids who parents may have drug issues, or, you know, mom is in a certain situation where ACS takes the kid from the mom, and they're put into the system, right? And they go from home to homes and situations where there's really no stability, right? So in the state of Virginia, there's a huge problem within, you know, there's a lot of kids within the system that don't have homes. So what I did was, instead of renting out the houses I do own in Virginia, I turned them into group homes. And instead of stacking kids up, 3 kids in one room, I basically made it like a real home. So each kid in my group home have their own room. They have their laptop. They have a flat screen TV. They all see the same doctors. They see the same dentists. We take them out on activities. We give them mental health counseling.
Damn, bro, I want to be in this group home. What?
And they treat them like a lifestyle. Like, they get to come, they get to choose like what activities they want to do. They're on a very tight feeding schedule. We don't give them fried foods. We teach them about health management. And my brother really counsels these kids and like build them up into being successful individuals. And we see them like if they are our own kids. So they have very similar experiences. It's very easy for me to put 3 of them in one bedroom and see them as a dollar sign, but we don't do that. So we lose a lot of money by trying to make sure these kids have certain type of experiences. And the backstory to why we did that was, again, my brother had this vision of like mental health counseling and helping kids. We never really wanted to house kids. We just wanted to give mental counseling services and, you know, go into certain communities and, you know, tell our story, you know, growing up in the Bronx, growing up in certain environments, growing up with parents who did face addiction issues, who, you know, father was in and out of jail and all these type of situations. So, you know, once we were blessed, we graduated college and we was in this position of power. We was like, how do we give back to the youth? And I had a cousin who was in the system due to my aunt battling her own addiction issues. And, you know, me and my brother talk about, you know, he's older. How can we put him in a situation? You know, COVID was happening. I had all these houses where, you know, I had most of them were full, but then I had some houses who was just empty. I wasn't really losing money because I was doing well in other businesses. But I was like, you know, let's adopt our cousin, let him have the house, let him finish off his senior year of high school in a positive way. And when the lady came to inspect my house from ACS, she was like, this is 5 bedrooms. So, you know, I'll give you X amount of dollars for each bedroom. And I was like, what? Like, you would pay me to help kids? Like, you know, like, I was so like oblivious.
How old were you right there?
When this was happening, I was what? When I started this company, 25, 26.
Yes.
I'm 27 now, so this is like recent. So, you know, I talked to this lady. She was amazing from the department, like from the State Department. And I was like, wow, so if I was to help more kids and not just my family, you know, I can get this amount of money and still be helpful in my community. And they were like, heck yeah, you know, like this is a business. And And it was amazing, but it was also kind of sad because then like I started to obsess over it and I started to understand the business and I understand it how I can exploit this business. And I was like, wow, this is what people must do. You know, they stop seeing these kids as kids and they start seeing them as a dollar amount. And I started to say, you know, well, we can still make enough money where, you know, we don't have to worry about, wow, I'm helping all of these kids, but it's coming at the expense of my family, my kids, or the lifestyle that I'm currently living. And then I started to break it down. I was like, well, instead of having 3 kids in one room, let's just give each kid their own room. And, you know, you have business partners and consultants that say, yo, that's bad for business. And I'm like, at what point is enough enough?
Yeah.
I can still pay off these mortgages, still have a decent income, and do the right thing by these kids. So I started to go into this group home market and take over this group home market, and it's been beautiful, man.
How many homes do you have?
I have 2.
Okay.
And then I have a juvenile center. And excuse me, let's backtrack. When I say take over, I don't mean like I'm the biggest guy ever. Like I'm not taking over the market, but it's something very new. It's not easy because it's like, instead of having 3 of my own kids, now I got like 40 kids. And it's like, you know, but, you know, we're looking at analytics, kind of like Instagram. You look at, oh, look at this. Like, is this kid doing good in school? If I give him this, does he does that? If I give her this, does she does that? And, you know, we just trying to really understand it and understand the mental health aspect of these kids.
That's great, man. You should give yourself an applause for that one.
Yeah, give myself applause, man. And give my brother applause because...
Shout out to Justin.
Because he really does with the day-to-day. My business are
holding it down.
In New York. He holds it down as a passion of his. I love him. I support him. And round of applause for him specifically. You know? So thank you, Justin. And maybe, you know, let's go to Virginia, bro.
Oh yeah, that would be dope. I mean,
let's
I don't remember the last time I've been to Virginia.
Let's talk about, instead of just talking about what we're doing, let's show the people. Let's plan it. Let's go to Virginia. Let's give you know, because I don't want to just say, oh, I have these group homes and I care about these kids. Let's show them what I'm doing for these kids.
Okay, I'm down.
You down?
Yeah.
You heard it here live on episode 2 of the Professional Winner Show. Me and Gabe, I'm going to book tickets tonight. We're going to go to Virginia. We're going to show you the facility. And let's do it. Let's really talk about it, you know?
Exactly. Let's do it, man.
Why not? Why not?
Why not?
We're going to Virginia. I'm not going to just talk about it. We're going to show you, man. But
all right. Real quick, though.
We're really making a difference.
Real quick. You were talking about all these homes and group homes, blah, 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 this and that, you know, tomato, potato, potato. Nah, but like, let's talk about your real estate.
What are you talking about, bro? Yo, you tripping. Yo, it's tequila sunrise.
Yes, it's a tequila sunrise. Let's talk about your real estate business, bro.
Yes. Conyers Real Estate was created before the group homes, before the Juvenile Center, before I brought health services. That was my first passion. And again, empathy. One of the reasons why I got into Conyers Real Estate, I am a licensed real estate agent, which a lot of people don't know. My wife is a licensed real estate agent. She really practiced it more than me. I only took the exam and got licensed because I was already in the space. And I just wanted to educate myself more and make sure I was just qualified to do the business transactions that I was doing. You know, majority of my life I was homeless. You know, shelter to shelter. I would say from 0 to 7, I probably lived in like 10 different places. And growing up in the city, man, you know, man, as a photographer, you go and you see those views, you see those lights. You're on 42nd Street, and it's like, wow. You talk to these, you know, I've traveled the world, and I talk to these foreigners, and when I say I live in New York City, they look at me like, you did it.
It's insane, bro.
You did
it's
it.
insane.
Lights.
Even when I go out of New York and people are like, "You're from New York?" I'm just like, yeah.
And I'm like, bro, like a roach is gonna crawl on me tonight. Like, and I'm not even making a joke. Like, roach is gonna crawl on me. Like, I'm gonna have to kick a rat today. Like, it's not beautiful. And you know, like, I was always envious, man. I would like just walk as a kid. You take the train, and yes, as a kid, because you know, when you got parents dealing with certain issues, you have a lot more autonomy than you should as a kid, right? So now I'm walking the trains. I would look at the lights, and I was just envisioning, man. I was like, yo, like, I just wanted to own things. I just wanted to have houses. Like, my dream in life, like, you know, you always talk to me like about cars. Like, yo, when I get this check, I'm gonna get this Tesla. Like, I never cared. Like me, I drive my 2013 Chevy Malibu. Everybody like, yo.
This is big facts, by the way.
Yeah, my wife drives a 2021 Benz. Yes, she does. I don't even like the Benz. I drive my 2013 Chevy Malibu. That's my baby. Like over 100,000 miles. Her battery died last week. I spent $4,000 into it. The car's not even worth $4,000 no more. But that's just my baby. That's my personal relationship. It was my first car ever. Like, I'm not big on cars. I'm not really big on fashion, but I love homes. Like, I love houses. And I don't know if it's like my guilt or trauma, but like, you know, never really having a home and always being homeless. Like, I just loved houses. So when I finally got my hands on some money, it was like, I just started purchasing things. Like, for no reason. Like, I didn't really understand the structure of real estate. I didn't understand the structure of rent, Section 8, all of these things, property taxes and all that. But, you know, I just wanted to say I own something.
What do you own right now? Do you live in a house? Do you live in an apartment? Where you at?
I actually live in an apartment. I don't own a home. Well, I own multiple homes, but I don't have my family home.
I see.
And it's not because of me. It's because my wife is very, very picky. And she, you know, she thinks I'm a multi-millionaire and I'm not. But it's not, we can afford a home by no means, but we don't know where we want to live. We don't know if we want to stay in New York. We don't know if we want to go full-time to Virginia. You know, me personally, I think it might be better for my kids to live in Virginia. So we're going through that. But let's say by January, the new year, we will be homeowners. We just don't know where we're going.
All right. I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see.
Me personally, it doesn't matter because I'm on planes all the time anyway. I'm going to travel. So it's really more about my wife and where she thinks that it's more better for her mental health and where she wants to raise our kids.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a journey right now. But trust me, I have a really expensive apartment in Brooklyn. It's okay.
You heard that. You heard that.
So
hit the applause for Brooklyn.
Yeah, hit the applause for Brooklyn, man. And you know, I own a couple of properties throughout Virginia. I own homes, but I haven't found my dream home yet. But when I do, it's gonna be something new.
I feel like you mentioned being homeless, like you just touched on it, but I still know very little about that. What was that like? What was being homeless like for you, bro? When was this? How old were you?
It's freaking horrible. I was homeless at 3. I was homeless at 5. I was homeless at 9. I was homeless again when I started middle school, then by 12. Then I was homeless again sophomore year of high school. It wasn't like it was repetitive, you know. My parents would be doing good, and then they'll relapse and no money, you get evicted, and they'll be doing good, and then we'll have to run to Virginia because you owe this drug dealer, and then we'll live there, and then after a year we'll be homeless again. Then we'll run back to New York. Then I'll go live with my grandma for a couple of years, who is probably one of the most amazing people ever. My grandma, Gwendolyn Smith, my savior, my provider, my everything. You know, I lived with her for a couple of years, created some stability. Then my mother want me back, go back to that. The cycle continues, and it's just, so being homeless is not fun, man. But
grandma's in Virginia?
No, so I have one grandma, my grandma Corrine, also an amazing individual who lives in Virginia, which is my father's mother. She's from Virginia, but she did live in the Bronx, New York for a period of time. And then my grandmother Gwendolyn Smith, which is my mother's mother, she lives still to this day in the Bronx.
In the Bronx, wow.
Yeah.
Dang, yeah, straight thugging over there. That's crazy.
You don't want no smoke with grandma.
Never want smoke from grandma. Let's give grandma her flowers so we don't get the smoke,
give
please.
Grandma flowers. I think grandma like the air horn. That's for you, grandma. You know,
grandma would smack you for that air horn, bro. She'd be like, yo, my ears, we trying to wake me up. Trying to wake up my neighbors.
My grandma was definitely very religious. She would rather me get on my knees and pray instead of doing the air horn. Definitely.
That's true.
Hopefully she never see this.
Nah, man. When we say give flowers, you know what, bro? We need to make a video of you literally giving all these people that you're mentioning flowers.
Why not? Let's do it.
Let's do it. That's going to be a clip, so check it out. It's going to be on his Instagram.
Let's do it.
Without a doubt.
I am Jon Conyers.
I am John E.
No. Stop with this E stuff.
Oh man. All right, so you got a book right there on the right of you, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So that's...
Well, first, that is the first selection of the Athletes Book Club.
Okay.
Which we won't get into details with, but it's a project that I'm working on that's very near and dear to my heart, and I think it's going to help a lot of kids and help the community. But this book Life-changing, man. I was a part of this book. If you read to the very end, you will find some paragraphs with my name in it.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah. What you got for me? You got some questions?
So, I do have a lot of questions, but we'll save it for, maybe even another episode. The thing is that...
How about maybe we get the wonderful people on that cover to sit on this couch? I think I can make that happen.
So that's Bobby and Cheryl Love on that. And I just recently finished the podcast. And, for those of you listening, the podcast is actually, I'm sorry, not the podcast, the book, the audio book. Yeah. That's actually on Amazon. And, a couple of other things, but
don't just say it's on Amazon. It was named Amazon's top autobiography.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
Thank you, Amazon Books. Thank you, Jeff Bezos. You probably never read the book, but whoever you got in charge of making those selections, thank you. I appreciate it.
That was awesome. And, the voice actors were great, right? It's like I was listening to Bobby himself speaking, and I was just like, oh, wow. It was good, man. It was such an interesting story. It's just that I can't believe, this guy literally escaped prison, lived his entire life for 30 years, in New York City. Like, it's crazy. Yeah. It's pretty wild.
Because of this, I have another company called Conyers Production Company.
Tell me about that. I don't even know. Where'd you get production? How do you go from real estate to production?
So I have a record label called A&O Records. Mm-hmm. I have a management company called A&O Management. Then I have a sports agency called A&O Sports. So it's this one big umbrella of all of these companies. Under A&O Management, Bobby and Cheryl Love is both signed to me. I act as their manager. But when we was going through this process and sharing that story, shout out to Humans of New York. My friend Brandon Stanton, who's amazing, who is God sent. The things that you are doing, the things that you're doing for our community is just amazing. And I have to, again, please don't hate me, fans. You have to clap for that man. Clap it up for Brandon Stanton. For me being drunk off Hennessy and tweeting at you crazy late at night, for you to respond and remember me from, my journey in Stony Brook and being Mr. Far Beyond and all of this crazy stuff, for you to share your platform and care about these stories and care about these people to help change our lives, when I just seen how powerful stories are, when I seen how powerful it can be when you're vulnerable, when you speak your truth, when you're not afraid to share your flaws in the limelight, it made me create Conyers Production Company. And I've been on a mission to find more amazing stories like this. I don't want people that are big. I've had so many people that are very famous and, who already have amazing careers reach out to me and say, Jonathan, I want you to be my manager. And I'm just not interested. I want the story that nobody thinking about. I want the person that nobody will give them attention, and I want to bring them to the limelight. Your story matters. And, that's what Conyers Production Company was created.
I see.
And,
real quick, though. Real quick. I do have a question for you. Do you feel like...
Hold on, man.
You gotta mute your thing?
It's 9 o'clock, bro. No.
Who's emailing you, bro?
So I mute it, right?
Yeah.
But when it's very urgent, I have a program where it's automatically gonna beep.
Yeah.
When Bobby reaches out, he has to answer, Sirius XM interview today at 5 o'clock, so I'm getting a lot of feedback on that, but, so
was that live?
Huh?
Was that a live interview?
Oh, no. It was a Zoom interview. It was
nice.
Be edited. It's going to be dropped in a couple of days.
Oh, that's awesome.
It went great.
Pulling back, though, you were talking about, basically reaching out and hitting on the little guy, trying to bring up the little guy. Do you yourself feel like you're an underdog in a way?
Oh, yeah. I'm an extreme underdog. Oh, man. Throughout this podcast and this episode, looking at my upbringing, I wasn't supposed to be here. I remember junior year of college, the wonderful Cheryl Hamilton. And you better remember who this name is. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh no. You don't know who Cheryl Hamilton is?
Come on, I know.
No. He don't remember.
Bro, I definitely do. She's small,
The president of EOP, exactly.
Yes.
Who gave us our scholarship and our opportunity to be in college, right? There was this retreat, and it was called Treating People of Color. Mm-hmm. And I was able to go to Aruba free. Stony Brook paid for the whole thing. And I'm meeting all these amazing people, and I'm discussing about what it feels to be Black, to be powerful, and understanding my story. And I met this one guy, and this guy wasn't Black. and he ran this ranch in Long Island. God, I can't remember the name. And basically what he would do is kind of like the group homes. He would take kids in bad situations and bring them on a ranch. And they would take care of the horses. He would teach them skills. He would teach them how to create an LLC in business.
Oh, wow.
And he put my name. He asked me all these questions. And I'm looking at this guy like, yo, why are you asking me these questions? I'm in Aruba, bro. We on the beach. Like, I've been through all the retreats and seminars today. Like, let me chill. Like, let me chill with my friends. It's junior year of college. I got this free trip. Miss Hamilton paid for it. And he said, Jonathan, you had a 2.2% chance of ever going to college, and you have a 1.1 chance of graduating. And I cried. I said, wow, like, you know, like when you hear that, like you start to think that you're special. And you know, like if you guys don't know, Justin Conyers, who I gave my flowers to earlier, he adopted me when I was in high school.
Adopted you?
Yeah.
I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, my parents, my brother who was very young at the time, he was in the military in Virginia in the Army. My parents was going through some things, and it just, I was backtracking in a way where everybody thought like it was death or jail for me.
How old were you then? How old was he?
He was, I think Justin just turned, he was probably early 20s and I was like 15.
Wow.
And he adopted me, and, you know, being a person who was in the group home system, you know, and being adopted, which is another reason why I created group home system, because I remember that feeling. Being adopted and having to leave my parents and having to leave New York to go to Virginia, leaving my girlfriend, who was my wife now, because we were already together at that point.
Oh man.
You know, it was like a lot of like issues, like no matter what you're going through, when you have friends, when you have this safe space that you can escape from, regardless of what's going on at home, like you start to embrace that, especially as a kid in high school. So being in group home, being in shelters, you know, being a teenage father, all of these things limit me so much. And to be here, like, I don't care if this video gets 5 views. To even be here, to be in a studio, to be able to just talk and share my voice, you know, I was an extreme underdog, you know? So yeah, man, I definitely consider my underdog, but I don't think I consider myself an underdog. I think society thinks I'm an underdog. But personally, I think all of those things that happened to me built so much character and built so much adversity that things that people may say is like, yo, that is tough, to me is like, it is what it is. Let's keep going. Let's keep pushing. Like, it can always be worse, you know? So
you're running a marathon, bro. Talking about running a marathon, though, we had a marathon the other day, brother. It was pretty wild. He was looking for parking forever. It was
episode
insane.
200. Me and Gabe is running the New York City Marathon.
Episode 200.
Hold on. Cut this, save this, flip it, make it an NFT. Episode 200. Well, somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there. Let's look at John now. Pause. Look at him. All right, now you're gonna look at him later on.
Let me look in the camera. Let me look at them. Okay, episode 200. Baby.
Who's gonna carry the boats, John?
Who's gonna carry the boat? Shout out to David, man.
Yo, at some point you gotta work out with this guy.
You gotta kill me.
Yo, David.
Who gonna carry the boat?
Yo, David Goggins, bro.
Yo, that's my role model. And yo, apologize to David Goggins, because episode 1 I was talking about role models and people I admire and people I look up to. You should have been number 1 on the list, my brother. David Goggins.
Talking about one of the underdogs, bro. Underdogs. He became one of the
underdogs, man. I don't care what he became. I don't care what his net worth is. That's the person you want to inspire. You can have $1. If you have that type of mentality, if you have that type of character, if you have that type of discipline, you are a professional winner. And that's simple. This is what it is.
So I guess you're carrying the boats now, bro.
We're carrying the boat.
David Goggins, bro. Like, he wrote such an amazing book, and I had the opportunity to actually listen to it over his, Audible. It was such a beautiful book, man. I'm not gonna lie. I can listen to it again. I was running to it, man. Like, I literally was invigorated. I felt like a god listening to that book, bro. I felt like David Goggins, bro. Running on broken legs.
If I had a book and I did a voiceover, that's what I would study.
Yeah.
For real, man. It was like, it's just amazing at what he do. And it goes back to what I was talking about earlier, right?
Okay.
Like it's not about like I can come on this platform and I can say what I want, but are you willing to do it with your actions? You know what I'm saying? And his actions speaks louder than his words, even though his voice matters and is very loud, and you can hear it and you can feel him. But his actions also speak just as loud as his voice, and that's what you want, you know. And you know, even when we talked about doing this podcast, like I kept coming as like, yo, I need to be at this place before I have a podcast. I need to be at this position in life before people care about what I say. And you know, you kind of motivated me to say, nah, bro, like let them see the journey. You know, you already came so far. Like your voice does matter, and if it matters to me, maybe it will matter to 500 people. You know,
Exactly.
We're not doing this for money. You know, we already accomplished things. We're already in a good position. We're doing this to motivate people, to help people, and to show people that, you know, that everybody's voices matters, and that professional winners is based on so many things, not just material things. So shout out to David. We got to give him another round of applause, man. Like, you know, one day we're gonna work out with David, man.
One day. I would love to see that, bro.
No, I would not love to see that.
I would love to see that,
bro. But who's gonna carry the ball?
Yeah, that's true.
So,
you mentioned something about a book, and I'm like, yo, bro, I mean, at this point, you got the story, you got all this, and you got all that. I mean, why not write a book yourself?
Next question.
Why does your voice matter, man?
Why does my voice matter?
Who are you? Why does your voice matter? You're Jon Conyers, but like obviously you're talking. You have a show. You have a podcast. Your voice. What does it mean to people?
Well, that's not for me to determine. You know, every person who watches this, who sees this, is going to inspire them differently. You know, so you know, as the person giving the content, I don't get to decide what the viewer thinks, and I value all opinions. Some people may see this and say, this shit is trash. Some people may see this and say, wow, I feel inspired today. You know, I really love who he is. I want to follow his journey. And I welcome all of those opinions. I welcome all of those different feelings. But what I would like to say is that I think my voice matters because I understand my journey. I understand how important it is to be vulnerable. I understand how important it is to be able to give game. You know, when I think about my life and what I want to accomplish or who I want to be, it's bigger than me. Right? You know, I always think about, you know, I know it sounds crazy, but I always think about what would my life be like when I die, right? Everybody want to be remembered, right? You know, you want to live, you want to be remembered. When you're gone, you still want to be thought about. Maybe you want to be in a history book. Maybe you want a statue. I don't know what it is. So I think about, you know, even when I'm creating businesses, how would I be remembered? How will my voice matter? How will what I do create change and move people? And whether it's 20 people, whether it's 1 million people, as long as I move one person, I'm getting closer and closer to my goal and what I want to accomplish. So
then I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
If it was one legacy, the legacy that everyone would remember you by right now, that would make a change, what would that be? As of
right now, at 27?
At 27, bro.
My kids, I know they're young, but I think they're special. And I know they carry my last name, and I'm living through them. And, you know, I know you guys say, John, you're super successful, you're an amazing person, but I really think that they are really going to show the true testament of who I am and what I preach and what my goals is, because I preach it to them every single day. This book will outlive me. The royalties on this book, the money, will be in my family for generations. It's gonna outlive me. You can't get rid of the book. It's gonna be print forever. Those words are gonna be in there forever. How I carry myself, this film, this video is gonna outlive us. You know, and that's one of the reasons why we're doing it. You know, what was I thinking at 27? What man was I at 27? You know, real estate, property, my land is gonna outlive me. You know, we talk about America, you know, I own land in Belize. I own land in the Virgin Islands. Those things will outlive me. You know, generations and generations of family will be able to acquire that, to live on that. So, you know, that's what my legacy is, you know, through my group homes. You know, when I'm gone, I pray that one of those kids in the juvenile center who does get real change, who does get real rehabilitation, becomes somebody successful and say that, you know, Mr. Conyers was a part of my journey. He believed in me. He didn't lock me up in a cell. When the world gave up on me, he was there. He gave me opportunity. So, you know, my legacy is not about me. It's about other people. How do I touch them? You know, I pray that, you know, all the time that you are giving me personally, that you can look back and say, this benefited your future kids. This benefited your career. You know, it's not about me, right? I could sit around, just continue to travel, just be content with what I got. But at the same time, that's not what a professional winner does.
Okay.
The professional winner gives back. They care about other people, you know? So that's what it's about, man.
Is it? I mean, I guess after episode 10, I'll be a professional winner myself, right?
You're already a professional winner, my brother. So, are we coming to that time?
I guess so, guys. I guess it's about that time now.
Thank you for tuning in today. Episode 2 of the Professional Winner Show, podcast, or whatever you want to label as. I'm your host, your guest, your executive producer, Jonathan Conyers, the professional winner, aka Mr. TPW. Thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe, send it to everybody you love, and I hope you come back for more. Thank you. God bless. Let's keep at it, baby.
Who's gonna carry the boat?
Who's gonna carry the boat?
Never go back in time. I'm from the era of fly so low, dark light. We way past your time. We pass all that shit, that metaphors spin around your head, son. Y'all like some time. I could do so much shit, I don't have to rhyme.